I am admitted to a psychiatric hospital and have been so off and on since 2012, the time when I was of age and began to understand things, the time when I met my dad, the time I was given an impossible task. My father was visiting when he stood with his back to fixing a door frame when he handed me a small comic book called Paisa. I could see in retrospect that it seemed as if this comic book was planned to be handed down by my father and had a greater purpose, as this comic book made me have to find out more about the person in the comic book who I then understood was a person called Jesus. And since I identified with the content of the comic, I later became curious about more. And I also feel that I was pushed or put aside a little to find out more. I was admitted to psychiatry and even got there with me history and connections all the way back to Jesus and the essence. So a connection of the essence to the health system, intertwined history from two different eras. So along the way here is the point that I've always had doubts whether I could really be the world's most talked about person. But I have weighed up the answer along the way, but declared insane by the health system, I became more and more enlightened with the days. And I suppose I am right when I say that my father, Lars Vidar, has probably received messages about this in advance from the universe. Call it angels or whatever you choose to call it today. It reminds me a lot of the Christmas gospel, that I could be the reincarnated Jesus after the time he left me and my mother when I was very young. So messages that the son has chosen to understand the universe and in fact also be the historical Jesus. As an adult with the insight of my father available, I became very woke when I started to meet him and developed understanding at a young age. I talked a lot about this while I was developing with others and was always interested in showing others how things are connected and often put things into light through using intuition with thinking aloud and say using a pointer to the symphony of nature. I became more confident and became authoritarian on the knowledge I knew was right to teach. But people were too self-absorbed. I have been perceived as kind, but a simple criminal throughout my career by like-minded people, but again, became angry at the healthcare system due to a distorted representation of me. I am quite certain that there has not been a similar Jesus in psychiatry with such great insight and authority, and who has shown what I am trying to say by pointing to real synchronicities that the person concerned has witnessed with his own eyes, a real pointer to the universe's message. Of course, given my message of being the purest Jesus of Nazareth, a message of eternal life has also played a role. It really doesn't matter anymore due to all the resistance I have encountered, whether I am a real ghost or not.
There are so many things I should have said. There is so much that is misunderstood and broken. Yes, I should have been a man of power because I am a man of God. I don't know if you see it, but I look at Hannah Navarro as a guard. But now that hill is so steep because they have taken me by the neck so hard so that all respect is black. I can't even say who I am anymore. No, I can't say that I'm coming soon because I said I was Jesus from the start. I should have said it when everything was clear. Yes, I went out too hard. But I believe and I know that I can get all this out of my Lars because it is my father's fault that I have been on a completely different planet than what is normal. That is why this rhymes with Mars. Yes, I am the feminist, but I am tired because of this dispute. Now, all the doctors are hanging over me. I feel like I can't be myself because everything I do, I feel like they're testing me. When I ask what I do, I say I'm practicing. Do you really think the doctor can feel me? When he doesn't have time to follow me, no, he doesn't know anything about what I spend my time on. I always took a sip. Who's a villain now? That's Magdalena's advice. Now you're trying hard to pull a thread. I know it was Magdalena I saw. I just know it's blue. I know he's raw. Guess who I see? Do you believe in God now? Or do you need more Maria to understand? Let the feminine file benefit the defendant. You heard what they said when I said I was Jesus publicly. I know who you are, and I was stubborn when you said it was secret, but who would have thought that I was a female figure, a feminine revival? There is no one who can crack that code. Because I matured so early, I can't even say who I am. I can't say that I'm coming soon because I said I was Jesus from the start. I should have said it when everything was clear. Yes, I went out too hard, but I believe and I know that I can get all this out of Lars. Tom Robin has formed a good picture of who Jesus was, and one must consider it from all angles and all the knowledge that exists about Jesus and God to find out if Tom Robin is really insane. Tom Robin claims to be reincarnated on the basis that he specifically recognizes himself in sources that are connected to Jesus in a down-to-earth and strong way. One cannot judge Tom Robin for reflecting himself. I have held back sorrow. I have held back joy because it was enough with just anger. Yes, it was enough, and just see it. I have held back power. I have held back everything. I have held back imagination. I have held back salt. I have let it just be. I have held back they. I have held back you. I have held back be. I have held back me. I have held back will. I have held back should. I have just let it be good. I have held back yes, I have held back no. I have held back what I was going to say. I have held back taste. I have held back no. I have held back answer. I have held back Father, and you ask if I'm ready. Can't you see that I'm praying? Can't you see that I've said my prayer? I knock on the doctor's door. I ask, have I changed? Or am I the same as before? Can you see that I've gathered myself? Or is there something really wrong? I feel you poking at everything. You're trying to take me with a grain of salt because you don't have the right explanation. You're tired and you don't accept the change. Is it really me who has to wake up? No, I want to be like a little child because I have wisdom and understanding. So please come ashore. Give me a real opinion. Don't come to say that I don't have a clue. Don't come to say that I'm stupid. Don't try to say that I'm young. Can't you see who I am? Can't you see that I'm delivering? Hey, can you at least see that I'm alive? You're a gnome, but you're the one who observes. You're supposed to learn to listen. I hear well, but you're telling me to land. I'm building the country, the new happy land. Time will you land? I am fully aware of the time and place. You can't judge him for his beliefs because he has his own free will and doesn't hear voices, and you should protect his freedom of religion. Tom Robin has his claim to be reincarnated on given grounds and has opinions about who Jesus is and what God is. Tom Robin is not stupid, but intellectual, and he is not a liar either. That Tom Robin is a paranoid schizophrenic, I have to doubt, and the strong Tom Robin reflects himself in the scriptures. It is not just a selected special text that has given him this message.